The Last of Us from Naughty Dog exploded straight from its release in 2013, with the hype around the series still just as high. Despite its sequels having mixed reviews, it still managed to break records with its sale. Both games featured a fantastic arsenal of weapons players had to strategically use to get by. Look at some of the best weapons from The Last of Us, starting with the nail bomb at 10.
Kill all of them!
The game is set in the US, that's now nothing more than a dystopian wasteland. Not only does the game have a fantastic story with incredible graphics, but its strategy and stealth mechanics make its gameplay super enjoyable. It has many options for items, weapons, and upgrades, though players must choose each of them carefully since the most powerful thing isn't always the best. Even the most potent weaponry can come with lousy accuracy or be more difficult to use. What truly stands out from the game is its excellent combat system, and in this list, we've gathered some of the best weapons players can use to destroy all kinds of enemies that appear in the game. One of the best explosive weapons from it has to be the nail bomb, which can easily be crafted without a workbench in the game. Throwing this craftable weapon makes a large blast that throws nails in all directions, dealing a considerable amount of damage and even incapacitating enemies most of the time. Considering just how easy it is to craft one of these bad boys, it goes without saying that using it in combat makes it just as satisfying. It even allows players to choose their targets carefully after they've been stunned by this grenade full of nails. Next up, at number 9, the assault rifle.
Keep your head down.
The rifle's rapid fire completely tears through any ammunition we gather up, making it one of the most inefficient weapons in the entire game. However, it still manages to be a great addition to our list, mainly because of its insane damage and sheer stopping power, making it more than worth the lost ammo. Even the strongest enemies in the game can be straight up decimated with the assault rifle, so it's pretty clear why this is one of the best weapons for many players, despite it basically chugging ammo down. One of the best uses for the weapons has to be in a large swarm of super powerful enemies, turning possibly frustratingly hard battles into fun little segments that make players feel like they're overflowing with power. Moving on to the pump shotgun, 8. The Last of Us is no exception to the age-old video game rule that shotguns are freaking awesome no matter what. One of the game's best weapons is the pump shotgun, purely because of its incredible stopping power. The shotgun hits enemies like a truck, but it can get annoying to use because of its slow reload speed and rate of fire, which needs to be accounted for every time it's put into use. However, that aspect of it does add to the realism, especially if players intend to start relying on it. Despite its few disadvantages, players can have a blast playing with it, especially if they are fans of powerful short-range weapons. Much like the assault rifle, this weapon specializes in getting players out of tricky situations full of infected from every direction. Like most game shotguns, it can quickly clear out a wide area with a single shot. Coming up at 7, the flamethrower. If we're talking about short-range weapons with lots of firepower, we can't avoid discussing the flamethrower. Just a single burst of the weapon, at least in optimal conditions, is enough to take care of any enemies, causing problems for Joel and Ellie. But the opportunity to put the weapon to use is few and far between. Most of the time, we'll have to try and make the best of it whenever possible. While it may be cumbersome for some players, the vast amount of damage it's able to put out makes it so worth this minor problem. The flamethrower is one of the most fun weapons, despite being cumbersome at times. But how powerful and epic players feel using it puts it on a completely different level. Similarly, 9mm pistol at 6.
Not a lot of ammo.
Shots count.
When it comes to The Last of Us, the 9mm pistol is a faithful classic. Even for beginners, it's easy to aim with and has a lot of ammo, at least compared to other weapons. Not only is it easy to use, but it's also mighty and can take out runners with a single headshot, though armored enemies can usually take a couple of tries to kill. The 9mm is also upgradable on all workbenches. Players can again use items and parts they collect through their journey to get better clip capacity, fire rate, and reload speed. Despite being one of the first weapons we get in the game, it isn't the strongest, but players swear by it because you can easily find ammo for it and because of how easy and effective it is. Furthermore, at 5, the Molotov cocktail.
Spread out.
Molotovs are the best weapon players can use to get rid of those annoying bloaters from a distance. It's an absolute godsend when we're against a swarm of challenging enemies. Once they're thrown, their sound attracts all nearby enemies towards them, directly into the flame for an insane amount of damage. Though it's better to throw them from a distance, preferably while the player's hidden from enemies to avoid getting caught up in the fire. Also, if some infected manage to survive the fire, players can rush up and quickly take care of them with a shiv or headshot. Let's take a look at the hatchet at 4. The first game comes with many options for melee weapons, but one of the best of all is the hatchet. They're super easy to find and even easier to upgrade with items players can find scattered across the map during their journeys, such as tape and scissors. Not just that, but the weapon can deal almost as much damage as the machete. But the hatchet wins over it only because it's much more durable. Since both weapons can easily be used for one-hit kills, the hatchet is the clear winner because of how long it can last. Melee is an essential part of the game's combat, especially since ammo is scarce and players need a long-lasting weapon that deals good damage but doesn't drain all the ammo they've spent hours collecting. Additionally, at 3, the hunting rifle. The hunting rifle is a lifesaver with a massive kick and comes in handy at the most crucial of times. The gang first stumbles upon it in the Capitol building. This gun is powerful and surprisingly accurate, making it perfect for one-shotting clickers if you're either in a hurry or a pinch. While it's goated with its raw strength, it does have some downfalls, the biggest of which is its small clip size. But that can be made better later on too, with a bunch of upgrades at the workbench. Some upgrades include improved power, adding a scope, reducing its reload time, and even increasing its clip capacity. Moreover, the shiv at 2. Shivs from The Last of Us have a lot of functions that make them one of the most versatile weapons in the game. Players can open up doors, and they're instrumental against infected enemies such as clickers, letting us save a lot of ammo for when we need it. With that said, it still isn't a weapon players can rely on all the time, considering that after every few uses, it falls apart and we need to make another one. They're easily craftable with craftable items spread all over the game, making up for their one-time use rule. While they're weak if you're in a fight, they're excellent for stealth kills and do a phenomenal job of saving us from clicker attacks. Just because they're such a massive help against one of the deadliest enemies in the game makes them worthy of being ranked so high on our list. Shivs are also essential for opening particular doors that can lead to supplies players can use for incredible upgrades and even open doors to continue the story. Finally, at 1, Ellie's bow. Players find the bow in Bill's small booby-trapped town. While Ellie's bow isn't the most accurate thing in the world, it manages to be super silent and is fantastic for killing off enemies with a single shot. All players need to do is crouch behind objects and take enemies out without them seeing them, making it more than just a weapon that's great for stealth. Another thing about it that makes it so fun to play with, along with its effectiveness, has to be that, unlike other weapons in the game, we can get ammunition back from missed shots and dead enemies. This feature is super handy, especially since arrows are much rarer than bullets. Also, the bow is an excellent way to freshen things up if players get tired of playing with the usual weapons most games offer. It's excellent for both stealth and taking on large groups of enemies. That's a wrap for this video. What is your favorite weapon from the game? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.